Hello friends, welcome to the lecture series on transformer basics and design. In previous lectures I have covered the theory related to the transformer, and in this lecture I am going to take some problems related to the theory covered. So let us start with the first problem. The statement of the problem is an ideal transformer has turns ratio of 8:1 and primary current is 3 ampere when it is supplied at 240 volt. Calculate the secondary voltage and the current. So first of all, what is the data given here? Data is returns ratio is given to you, means N1 upon N2 is given to you as 8 by 1, which is equals to 8, right? Then primary current is given to you I1 equals to 3 ampere. This current is taken by your primary of the transformer when it is fed from 240 volt supply. Okay, so this is nothing but your V1. This is nothing but your V1. We know that V1 upon V2 equals to N1 upon N2 equals to I2 upon I1, right? So therefore, what is N1 upon N2? N1 upon N2 equals to V1 upon V2, right? Therefore, which implies that I can write down 8 equals to V1 upon V2, means which implies that 8 is equal to 240 by V2, and therefore V2 equals to 240 by 8, which is equals to 30 volts. So in this way we got the secondary voltage V2, right? Then come to the secondary current. So when we have to find out secondary current, just I will equate the turns ratio to the ratio of I2 to I1, right? Okay. Therefore, I2 upon I1 equals to 8, right? Which implies that my I2 equals to 8 into I1, which implies that 8 into 3. So it is equals to 24 ampere. And therefore, my I2 will be equals to 24 ampere. So just from the transformation ratio or the turns ratio and these ratios, we got the answer for the secondary voltage and the secondary current. Let us to move to the next problem. A 5 kVA single phase transformer has turns ratio of 10:1 and is fed from 2.5 kilovolt supply. Neglecting losses, you have to determine the full load secondary current, the minimum load resistance which can be connected across secondary winding, which will give you the full load kVA, and primary current at full load kVA. I will write down the given data. What is the given data? Turns ratio is given to you. N1 upon N2, which is equals to 10:1, which is equals to 10. Right? Then V1 is given to you. V1 is equal to 2.5 kilovolt, which is nothing but 2500 volts. We know that N1 upon N2 equals to V1 upon V2, and this implies that my V2 is equal to V1 into N2 by N1. So what is V1? 2500, and N2 by N1 is nothing but 1 upon your turns ratio, means 1 upon 10. So it is equals to 250 volts. Therefore, I will write down here V2 equals to 250 volts. Then after this, what we have to find out? full load secondary current we have to find out. So we know that the transformer rating is in volt ampere, right? So transformer rating, I will write down transformer rating in volt amperes equals to V2 into I2, right? What is the rating of the transformer is given to you? 5 kVA means 5000 ampere, 5000 volt ampere equals to, what is your V2? 250 volts into I2, right? So which implies that my I2 will be equals to 5000 divided by 250, right? So it will be equals to 20 ampere. Therefore, I will write down here, I got I2 equals to 20 ampere. Then minimum load resistance we have to find out, which can be connected across secondary winding to give full load kVA, right? So full load kVA means minimum. So directly I will write down what is the value of load resistance. RL is nothing but secondary voltage upon secondary current. This is the maximum resistance that I connected across the secondary. So secondary voltage we got 250 volt divided by secondary current 20. So the resistance value that I can connect across secondary is nothing but 12.5. So RL max I will write down here, which is equals to 12.5 ohm. Then after that we have to find out the primary full load kVA, primary current at full load kVA. Students, we know that N1 upon N2 equals to I2 upon I1, right? I2 upon I1. So what is I1? I1 is equal to I2 into N2 upon N1. So which is equals to 20 into 1 by 10. So I1 is equal to 2 ampere. So I will write down here, I got I1 is equal to 2 ampere. Come to the third problem. So read the statement of the third problem. A 2400 by 400 volt single phase transformer takes a no load current of 0.5 ampere and a core loss is 400 watt. Determine the values of magnetizing and core loss component of no load current and draw the phasor diagram. So first of all we will draw the phasor diagram for this problem, means phasor diagram of transformer on no load. So while drawing the phasor diagram at no load, first of all I will take V as a reference vector, means V1 as a reference vector, V1 as a reference vector. Then this V1, when V1 is applied across the primary winding, I magnetizing is taken from the supply, which will be responsible for producing the flux. So this will be your Im. This magnetizing component of no load current will produces the flux which is in phase with this current itself. So this will be your flux. When this flux link with the primary winding, it will induces the EMF of self induction in the primary, which will lag this flux by 90 degree. And same flux will link with the secondary also and produces the EMF of mutual induction in the secondary, which is denoted by E2. At no load, this E2 is nothing but equals to voltage developed across the load, that is V2, right? And in addition to the magnetizing current, my primary will draw the core loss component of this current also IC to overcome the no load losses taking place in the primary winding at no load, and vector sum of both is nothing but your no load current, means current taken from the supply at the no load. So this will be the vector addition of both. So this is your no load current. So this will be your I naught, means no load current, and angle between the applied voltage V1 and current taken from the supply is nothing but phi naught no load power factor angle, no load power factor angle. Now come to the data what is given here. So what is the given data here? V1 is given to you. V1 is equal to 2400 volts. 2400 volts. And what is V2? V2 is nothing but 400 volt. V2 is nothing but 400 volt. And no load current is given to you, that is I naught, which is equals to 0.5 ampere. Core loss. No load loss is nothing but your core loss. So core loss, or I can say it as a iron loss. It is equals to 400 watt. It is given in the problem. Right? We know that the power taken from the supply by the transformer at no load is nothing but V1 I naught into cosine of angle between both, means cos of phi 0. It is nothing but 400 given to you. Right? Means power is taken from the supply to overcome the losses only. So I will put the values here. So what I will get? 2400 into 0.5 into cos of phi 0 equals to 400. Therefore, what is cos of phi 0 you will get? You will get it as 1 by 3, and hence phi 0 you should get equals to 70.5. Okay. Then from this here, now this is your right angle triangle. This is your right angle triangle. So as this is your phi 0, I can write down my Im is nothing but I naught sine of phi 0. Right? Im is nothing but I naught sine of phi 0, and IC is nothing but Im cos of phi 0. So we can find out the both component. So the magnetizing component equals to Im equals to I naught sine of phi 0, which you will get, what is I naught? 0.5 into sine of 70.5. So this you will get it as 0.471 amperes. Right? Then second we have to find out the core loss component of the current. So I will write down here core loss component IC equals to I0 cos of phi 0, which you will get it at 0.167 ampere. Right? So just we have to draw the phasor diagram and give all the values that we will get here. Okay, so this value we have to find out as well as this value. So we got this value. So just I will write down here what is your Im 0.471. What is your IC? IC will be 0.167. What is your E1? E1 is equal to approximate and opposite to V1, so 2400 volt. My E2 and V2 will be secondary rating of the transformer, 400 volt. What is phi 0? Phi 0 is equal to 70.5 degree. What is V1? V1 is equal to 2400 volts. Okay, so this is enough. And what is your I naught? It is given to you. So directly I will write down here I naught equals to 0.5 ampere. So this is about all quantities that I have represented in the phasor diagram. Now let us move to the next problem, fourth problem. A single phase 500/100 volt 50 Hz transformer has maximum core flux density of 1.5 Weber per meter square and an effective core cross sectional area is 50 centimeter square. We have to determine the primary and secondary terms. So student, we know that what is the maximum flux? It is nothing but flux density into area, right? What is flux density is given to you? 1.5 Weber per meter square. What is area? Area is nothing but 50 centimeter square. Let us convert this into meters. So I will write down here 50 into 10 raised to minus 4 meter square, right? So what is phi m? Put the values of B and A. Phi m will be 1.5 into 50 into 10 raised to minus 4. So it will be 75 into 10 raised to minus 4 Weber, right? So this is the flux that we got. Okay, now we know the EMF equation of the transformer. So what is the EMF equation? E1 equals to 4.44 F phi m into N1. So just a minute. Into what is N1? N1 is nothing but E1 4.44 F phi m, right? So what is E1? The rating of the transformer is given to you. So 500. So E1 will be 500 divided by 4.44 into 50 into 75 into 10 raised to minus 4. So you will get N1 approximately equals to 300. Similarly, I will write down here N2 is equal to E2 upon 4.44 F phi m, right? So what is E2? 100. 100 divided by 4.44 into 50 into 75 into 10 raised to minus 4. So you will get N2 as 60. So how to check our answer? As this transformer is a step down transformer, my ratio of N1 to N2 should be equals to V1 to V2 or E1 to E2. So 500 by 100, 5, 300 by 60, 5. It means our answer is correct. So this is also one method to find out the number of turns rather than the using the turns ratio. Okay. So move to the next problem. The next problem is a 4500 by 225 volt 50 Hz single phase transformer is to have an approximate EMF per turn of 15 volts and operate with maximum flux of 1.4 Weber per meter square. We have to calculate the number of primary and secondary turns and cross sectional area of the core. So let us start for A. So what is EMF per turn? I will write down here. It is nothing but E1 upon, just a minute, something wrong. EMF per turn, I will write down it as E1 upon N1. It is equals to E2 upon N2, right? Because E1 upon E2 is equal to N1 upon N2. So I can write down this data as which is given this. So this is given, so I can write down from this equals to. So what is N1 equals to E1 upon 15. What is E1? 4500. This is your E1 or V1. E1 approximately equals to V1, right? So 4500 divided by 15. So you will get this as 300. Similarly, what is N2? N2 is equal to E2 upon 15. What is E2? 225 divided by 15. So you will get this as a 15. So this is the answer for N1 and this is the answer for N2. Okay. Then in second part, what we have to find out? Cross-sectional area of the core. So students, we know the EMF equation. Let us use EMF equation to find out this. So EMF equation is equal to 4.44 phi m f N1. Now you have N1, you have E1, right? Just I will write down here what is phi m is nothing but E1 upon 4.44 f N1, right? So I can find out phi m now. So 4500 divided by 4.44 into 50 into 300, right? So I will get phi m equals to 0.0676 Weber. You can stop the video in between and check whether you are getting the same answers or not. Okay, then we know that what is area? Area is nothing but flux upon the flux density, maximum flux, right? So just put the values. What is phi m? 0.0676 divided by B max is given in the problem 1.4. So your area will be 0.0483 meter square, or in centimeter square I can write down 483 centimeter square, right? These are the very simple problems I am taking. Let us move to the next problem. Statement of next problem is: a single phase transformer has 2000 turns on primary and 800 turns on secondary. Its no load current is 5 ampere at power factor of 0.2 lagging. Assuming the whole drop in the winding is negligible, determine the primary current and the power factor when the secondary current is 100 ampere at a power factor of 0.85 lagging. So in this problem, the data of the no loading of the transformer is given to you, and you have to find out the primary current and the power factor when the secondary is loaded or the transformer is connected across the load. So students, we know that secondary current which is flowing through the secondary winding, that will set up its own magnetizing field, right? And the current direction is such that it will oppose the cause. And what is the cause? Cause is nothing but the flux which is produced by the primary current. So secondary current will try to set up the flux or the magnetizing MMF which is equals to the magnetizing MMF of the primary winding. And hence we have studied that my I2 dash N1 equals to I2 N2. Secondary MMF equals to the primary MMF. Means my primary winding has to take some more current from the supply to nullify the secondary magnetizing MMF. Okay. So from this I can write down my I2 dash equals to N2 upon N1 into I2. Right. So what is I2 is given to you? I2 is given to you equals to 100 ampere at 0.85 lagging PF. Right? So I can find out I2 dash from this. My I2 dash will be equals to 800 divided by 2000. These are the number of turns of primary and secondary. are given to you into I2, which is equals to 100 amperes. So the magnitude of I2 dash will be 40 ampere. Okay. At 0.85 lagging power factor. Then secondary PF is 0.85. So I can find out cos of phi 2. So sorry, it is given to you, cos of phi 2 is given to you, and therefore I can write down my phi 2 equals to 31.8, which is cos inverse of 0.85. Means my current I2 is lagging behind the V2 as shown in this phasor diagram that I have drawn by angle 31.8. Means my current, secondary current, lags the secondary voltage by 38.8. Then again students, I0 is given to you. What is I0? It is 5 ampere at power factor of equals to 0.2 lag. Therefore I can find out phi 0 here, which is nothing but equals to cos inverse of 0.2. So phi 0 you will get it as 78.5. Means my V1 is leading to this I0 by 78.5, or my no load current is lagging to the applied voltage by 78.5 degree. So according to this, I have drawn the phasor diagram here. I have taken V1 as a reference factor. When V1 is applied across the primary winding, current Im will be produced or circulated, which will produce the flux which is in phase with that current. Then some current is taken from the primary to overcome the no load losses, and that current is IC, and vector addition of IC and Im is nothing but I0. And this I0 lags my V1 applied voltage by angle phi 0 78.46. But when my secondary is loaded or secondary circuit is connected across the load, current I2 is circulated in the secondary circuit. Okay, that current will produces its own MMF, which will lags the MMF of the primary, or which will be nullify the MMF of the primary. So that current, the no load component, load component of your primary current, it is nothing but I2 dash, which is in anti-phase with your I2. So which is indicated by this red line here, which is equal in magnitude to I2, but it is in anti-phase with the I2. So I2 is taken here, and vector addition of my I2 and I0 is nothing but the current taken by the primary winding I1, which lags the V1 by angle phi 1. Right? So now from this phasor diagram, what we have to find out? We have to find out the primary current and the power factor. Primary current and the power factor means we have to find out the I1 in the polar form. Right? So students, from the phasor diagram, I will find out the I1. What is I1? I1 is nothing but, first of all, I will find out I1 cos of phi, and then I will find out I1 sin of phi. Then under root of my I1 sin of phi 1 square plus I1 cos of phi 1 square, I will get the I1. So first of all, we will go for finding out the I1 cos of phi 1. So what is I1 cos of phi 1? I can write down equals to I2 dash cos of 31.8 degree plus I0 cos of phi 0. So which is equals to 40 into 0.85 plus no load current 5 ampere is given to you, and cos of phi 0.2. So I1 cos of phi 1 you will get approximately equals to 35 ampere. Now how it is like this? Because see, what is I1 cos of phi 1 we are finding? I1 cos of phi 1 is this length. So it is nothing but this length plus this length. Right? So what is this length? This length is nothing but I2 dash cos of phi 2 dash. And what is my phi 2 dash? You know, that is 31.8 or phi 2, simply phi 2. And what is this length? This is your no load current I0. So I0 and this is angle with respect to this is phi 0. So I can write down this vector as I0 cos of phi 0, and hence I have added to get the I1 cos of phi 1 component. Similarly, I can find out my I1 sin of phi 1. So I will write down I1 sin of phi 1. Now see, come to the phasor diagram again. What is I1 sin of phi 1 is nothing but this length. What is this length? I0 cos sin of phi 0. This length is nothing but I0 sin of phi 0. And this length, what is this length? This length is nothing but I2 dash sin of phi 2. Because this phi 2 and this is also phi 2, which is nothing but 31.8. Okay, so I will write down here, it is nothing but equals to I0 sin of phi 0 plus I2 dash sin of 31.8 degree. So it is equals to 5 into sin of 78.5 plus 40 into sin of 31.8. So this you will get equals to 25.98 ampere. And from this phasor diagram, what is my I1? This vector square plus this vector square. So I can write down I1 equals to under root of I1 cos of phi 1 whole square plus I1 sin of phi 1 whole square, which is equals to under root of, just a minute, (35) square plus 25.98 whole square. So I1 you should get equals to 43.6 ampere. And if you put the value of I1 in any one of these equation, this equation and this equation, otherwise this equation, you will get the phi 1. You will get the phi 1. So what is phi 1 you will get? Phi 1 you will get 36.6 degree. And therefore cos of phi 1 equals to 0.80. This problem we can solve in the another way also. Now we have seen, student, what is the primary current? Primary current is nothing but vector sum of my I0 and I2 dash, right? I2 dash. So what is my I1? I1 equals to, what is I0? I0 is nothing but equals to 5 ampere. At what power factor? At a power factor of 0.2. So cos inverse of 0.2 is 78.5. So I will write down here, it is lagging to the reference vector by 78.5 degree. Why lagging? Because the power factor is lagging. Plus I2 dash. What is I2 dash magnitude you got from this equation? It is 40 ampere. So 40 ampere lagging at 0.85 power factor. So minus cos inverse of 0.8 means 31.8. So if on the calculator you convert these polar quantities in the rectangular form and add them and again convert them into the polar form, automatically you will get I1 equals to 43.57 at an angle of 36.6 minus 36.6 ampere. It means that the magnitude of my primary current is 43.57 and it is lagging behind the V1 by angle minus 36.6 or the 36.6. Why minus? Because it is lagging one. Okay. Let us move to the next problem. The next problem statement is a 2200 by 220 volt single phase 50 Hz transformer has a resistance of 1.25 ohm and reactance of 4 ohm in high voltage winding and 0.04 ohm resistance and 0.5 ohm reactance in low voltage winding. Calculate the equivalent resistance and reactance of low voltage side in terms of high voltage side. Means you have to find out all the quantities referred to the high voltage side, right? Equivalent resistance and the reactance of high voltage winding in terms of low voltage winding. So first of all, I will write down the data which is given here. So what is the data given? Just write down R1 equals to 1.25 ohm, X1 equals to 4 ohm, R2 equals to 0.04 ohm and X2 is equal to 0.15 ohm. Right? We know that what is K? K is nothing but N2 upon N1 equals to V2 upon V1, right? V2 upon V1 is equal to 220 divided by 2200. So you will get this as 0.1. Now let us move to the first part, A part. We have to find out, just a minute. Now we have to find out the all quantity, that is resistance and reactance referred to the high voltage side first. What is your part? Equivalent resistance and reactance of low voltage side in terms of high voltage side. Means we have to find out resistance and reactance referred to the primary side. So secondary resistance which is referred to the primary side, we have studied it is nothing but R2 by K square. R2 by K square. What is R2? R2 is 0.04 divided by 0.1 square. So you will get this as 4 ohm. Similarly, find out X2 dash. What is X2 dash? Is nothing but X2 upon K square, which is nothing but equals to 0.15 divided by 0.1 whole square. Right? So you will get this as a 15 ohm. Now you have to find out equivalent resistance and reactance of low voltage side in terms of high voltage side. Right? Equivalent resistance and reactance. So what is the, in terms of high voltage side, what is my RT1 total resistance of your primary transformer referred to the primary side? It is nothing but R1 plus R2 dash. So which is equals to 1.25 plus 4, which is equals to 5.25 ohm. Similarly, we can find out XT dash. XT1. What is XT1? Equivalent reactance of the transformer referred to the high voltage side. So it is nothing but X1 plus, just a minute, X1 plus X2 dash. So what is X1 is given to you? 4 plus 15, which is equals to 19 ohm. Which is equals to 19 ohm. Similarly, we can find out the equivalent resistance and reactance of your transformer referred to the low voltage side. So come to the B part. B part is nothing but your R1 dash, means primary resistance referred to secondary side. It is nothing but K square into R1. So what is your K square? 0.1 square into my R1 is nothing but 1.25. So you will get this as 0.0125 ohm. Okay. Similarly, x1 dash. x1 dash equals to k square into x1. So what is k? 0.1 whole square into 4. So you will get this as 0.04 ohm. Now let us move to find out the equivalent resistance referred to the secondary side or the in terms of your low voltage side. So my RT2 is equal to R2 plus R1 dash. What is R2? R2 is nothing but 0.04 plus 0.0125, which is equals to 0.0525 ohm. Similarly, find out XT2, equivalent reactance of the transformer referred to the low voltage side or in terms of the low voltage side. So what is my XT2 is nothing but X2 plus X1 dash, primary reactance referred to secondary side. So it is equals to, what is my X2? X2 is 0.15 plus 0.04, right? 0.04. So you will get this as 0.19 ohm. 0.19 ohm. Students, these problems are very simple problems, but until and unless we will not solve the simple problems, we cannot solve the big problems. So please learn each and every basic concept of the transformers so that you can solve all the problems easily. So the problem is, figure shows the equivalent circuit of single phase transformer referred to the low voltage side of 200 volt, right? Means this transformer is a step up transformer whose primary is connected across the 200 volt supply, which is shown in the figure which is given to you. You have to calculate the terminal voltage on load. Means when the transformer is connected across the load, you have to find out the voltage across the high voltage winding, means secondary winding. You have to find out the low voltage current, means low voltage side current you have to find out, and you have to find out the efficiency. So student, in such a problem, please don't get confused. The figure is given, first of all observe that figure and try to understand the figure. Now see here, this is the low voltage side. It is mentioned here that V2 dash, means it is a equivalent circuit of your transformer referred to the low voltage side. So what is this? This is nothing but your RT1. This is nothing but your XT1. And these are the resistance and reactance of the load which is connected across the secondary. This is your shunt branch which is consisting of your IC and IM. Okay, so now let us start to solve this problem. What is IM here? Simply IM is nothing but voltage across this branch divided by 231. So what is the voltage applied across this branch is nothing but the voltage applied across the primary. So it will be 200 upon 231. So it will come about 0.866 ampere. Okay. Then similar way you can find out IC. What is IC? IC is nothing but 200 divided by 400. So this will come about 0.5 ampere. And we know that what is your no load current? No load current is nothing but vector sum of IC and IM, right? So just I will add both. So I0 in terms of rectangular form, I will write down in terms of rectangular form, I will write down IC minus J IM, because this is magnetizing component and we have to write down it as a minus. So 0.5 minus J 0.866 ampere. So convert this into polar form. What I naught you will get? I will write down on this side now. I naught you will get it as 1 at an angle of minus 60 degree ampere. Now let us find out the R total of the transformer. So what is R total? This RE, equivalent resistance of the transformer referred to the primary side, plus the resistance of the load. So I will write down this as R total. R total, which is equals to RE plus RL. RL is nothing but resistance of the load. So it will 0.10, which is given to you RE plus 7.9. So this will come about 8 ohm. Just you can say 0.1 plus 7.98. Similarly, this 0.5 plus 5.5, X total you will get it as a 6 ohm. So here I will write down X total equals to XE plus XL equals to 0.5 plus 5.5. So it will come about 6 ohm. It will come about 6 ohm. Therefore, from this I can write down impedance Z equals to 8 plus J6 ohm, right? So what is my I2 dash now? My I2 dash is nothing but the voltage applied across this point and this point is nothing but 200 volt. So voltage between this point and this point is also, because this is same point, it is also 200 volt. So 200 divided by series impedance of this total branch. This total branch is nothing but your current I2 dash. So I can write down this as 200 at an angle of 0 degree, because my voltage is always a reference. Any vector, when you are taking as a reference vector, all other vector angles should be written with respect to that reference vector. So this is Z is nothing but 8 plus J6. So you will get this as 20 at an angle of minus 36.9 degree ampere. So here we found the load component of your primary current. Means when my transformer is connected across the load, how much extra current my primary should draw to nullify the magnetizing MMF produced by the secondary current. Okay, according to the Lenz's law. Now come to the A part. What you have to find out in the A part? Just go up. A part, terminal voltage on load you have to find out. So terminal voltage on load means this V2 dash you have to find out. So student, I can find my V2 dash is nothing but V1, voltage between these 2 points is nothing but voltage across this impedance plus voltage across this impedance, because these two impedances are connected in series. So my V2 dash equals to V1 minus I2 dash into this impedance. Okay, so I will write down. So just you have to see the figure properly. So I will write down here. First of all, I will find out I1. What is my I1? I1 is nothing but I2 dash plus I naught, vector sum of both. So I can write down this as 20 at an angle of minus 36.9 plus 1 at an angle of 60 degree, minus 60. Okay, so I1 you will get as 20.9 at an angle of minus 38 ampere. minus 38 ampere. Okay, so we got the primary current. First A part is over. Terminal voltage on low voltage current. So B part is over, student. B part is over means low voltage side current I1 we got. Now then we have to find out the terminal voltage. So this is your B part. Now you will come to the A part. So I will write down my V2 dash equals to V1 minus I2 dash into RE plus JXE, right? So this is nothing but 200 at an angle of 0 degree minus 20 at an angle of minus 36.9 into 0.1 plus J.5. Right? So V2 dash, if you solve this equation, you will get V2 dash as 192.5 volts. Just when you have to add two vectors, your vector should be in the rectangular form. So student, first of all, make multiplication. For multiplication, convert this into polar form. Then multiply the two polar quantities. Convert that into the rectangular form, this quantity in the rectangular form, then add, then convert it into polar form, so that you will get the V2 dash like this. Now what is my V2 dash? V2 dash is nothing but, we know that, but V2 dash is nothing but V2 by K, right? V2 by K. So we have to find out the K now. We have to find out the K. So what is my K? What is my K? K will be, what is the voltage rating is given to you? It is not given, right? So we can find out K by means of just, first of all, V2 dash is equal to K into V2. So what is my K? K is nothing but N2 by N1, which is not given to us. But how to find out it? In this problem, I forgot to give the K. Actually, the K is given as which is equals to N2 upon N1, which is nothing but your N2 upon N1, and it is given to you as 10. Please rewrite the statement of the problem. It is K is given to you, so as a K. So we know that V2. So therefore from this, what I can write down? V2 is equal to K into V2 dash. K into V2 dash. So what is my K? K is 10 into V2 dash is 192.5. So I will get V2 as 1925 volts. Then third quantity that we have to find out is nothing but the efficiency. Third quantity that we have to find out in this problem is the efficiency. Okay. Now let us see how to find out the efficiency of this transformer. Now student, what is the output? Output from this diagram which is given to you on the upper side, it is nothing, output is nothing but V2 dash into I2 dash into cosine of angle between V2 dash and I2 dash. So just I will write down my output will be V2 dash into I2 dash into cos of phi 2, right? Or phi 2 dash I can say. So what is V2 dash? We got 192.5 into I2 dash we got 20 into cos of, what is phi 2 dash is nothing but I can write down 36.9 minus 2 degree. If you draw the phasor diagram properly, you can write down this, or simply see here. Where is it? This is the angle of I1. Angle of I1. And what is my I0? Where is my this? This is nothing but this angle, means 30, this angle. Okay. So it is nothing but equals to, you will get this as a 3160 watts. 3160 watt. But students, if you are not getting how to take the angle, then simple thing is that you can find out the output power as equals to I2 dash whole square into RL, because this power is transferred to the load. So what is current flowing through the load into the resistance of the load? That formula can also give you the output power, and by both methods you will get the same answer. Then now we have to find out the input power. So what is input power? V1 I1 cos of phi 1. V1 I1 cos of phi 1. So input power is equal to V1 I1 cos of phi 1, which is equals to 200 into 20.9 into cos of 38, angle of your current I1, right? So you will get the input power equals to 3300 watts. Okay. Then what is your efficiency? Efficiency is nothing but output upon input. So if you put the value of the output, which is equals to 3160 divided by input 3300, you will get the efficiency of 95.75%, and this is the required answer for C. So student, in next lecture we will solve more problem based upon the transformer. So in this lecture I will stop here. If you like this lecture, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe my YouTube channel.